Alright, so I'm picking on Eminem again, but for an assignment for my class, you'd most likely be using a different image for this edit, and different from any of the other edits that you've done for this assignment. So, but I'm going to pick on Eminem a little bit more here. Now what I want to do is make sure that Eminem is having a great day. So I showed how to do that with the Liquify tool in one video, and this one I'm going to show a little bit of both, a little bit of Liquify and a little bit of masking as well, because you never know what's real, what's not real out in the media. So I like to try to see if I can push that boundary a little bit more. I'm going to make Eminem have a great day here, and I've got an image here that I want to make him smile, and I think this would be great if I use that image right here of her mouth, Miley Cyrus's mouth, for Eminem. She's smiling pretty good. I've got another option that I can do as well. I think I've got this one as well. This one would work, but take a look at the angles here. So his face is a little bit facing to the left on this one. Tom Cruise's is facing to the right, but that's an easy fix. Knowing what we know about Photoshop, we can easily flip that around. So I think this is going to be a better fit. Skin tones on both of these are going to need some editing in order to fit Eminem's, because it looks like he rarely gets outside. So let's go and let's see what we got. Both of these are pretty good quality images. The Eminem picture is quite a bit bigger, so when I take this image of Tom Cruise's mouth and move it over, it's going to be a lot smaller, but that's all right. First thing I want to do is create a selection of this general area of his face. So I'm going to use an elliptical marquee tool, and I'm going to draw a good size oval over his mouth and carry over some of these details here. Actually, I might want to do a little bit more, so I'm going to make it larger than what I actually need and use that. And so I have a couple different examples, and it's good to have some choices. What's going to work best, what's not going to work. Sometimes it's trial and error. If it doesn't look like it's working out, then try a different celebrity's smile or face and see if that, maybe it doesn't have to be a celebrity, but try someone else's face and see what you can get to work. So I've got this here selected, and now what I want to do is take this selection and move it over to my Angry Eminem picture here. So if I do that and I hit shift, drop it here, that's not really going to work, right? It's facing the wrong angle. So one thing I could do is go to edit and transform and flip horizontal, and there we go. So that works a little bit better. I know the mouth angle is a little bit off, so I can tilt this, turn it, and I'm not really concerned about the nose matching up or anything like that. I want to stretch it out, make it bigger, stretch that out. And it looks a little pixelated right now, and that's fine. It probably will look pixelated until I hit the check button here, and then it clears up quite a bit. Now, I've got something. I can kind of squint my eyes and see how this works. If I lower the opacity here of this layer, Tom Cruise's mouth, I can better align it with the angle and the right shape and size as Eminem's mouth. Now I can stretch it and it stays in proportion like this, or if I hold shift and drag, you can see it will let me squash and stretch these proportions. I can make it fit even better. So there we go. I like the way that's looking. Now I'm going to turn that back up, and I think the position is looking pretty good, looking at the shape of where the chin is. And now I'm ready to start adding some mask on here. So we're familiar with mask. Hit the check button up there, and with that layer selected, I'm going to choose my layer mask. Got my mask selected. I'm going to use a brush, regular brush, and I've got black. And change the setting of your opacity. Make sure it's a soft brush, so you can do that. Change the hardness all the way down to 0, and the opacity you can make a little bit higher, maybe. See how that works. And I want to make this disappear. I want to blend these things together, where it should be getting pretty good at this blending business now with Photoshop. Now I can blend these pretty well. Now let's work around his finger. I can see now that the mouth is a lot lower than Eminem's nose. So what I might have to do is take this and move it upwards. So I can grab this layer and shift it up this way. Make it a little bit more believable there. Now it's a little bit better. I like that. Okay, now I can get back to my masking. I'll make sure that I hit my mask tool over here again, use my brush, and start brushing away some more. I like these smile lines. I think that's going to work nicely with this photo. So some of this you can see, alright, well, the skin tone's definitely off. It looks like he's got some crazy makeup on. I'll lower this down, start to blend this, use a bigger brush. Start to blend this even smoother. I like that. Tom Cruise had a dimple. I'm going to try to keep that dimple in this picture. Kind of makes it look like Eminem's smiling even better. It happens to work out because they both have stubble on their face. So this is looking a lot better now. Now, the skin tones. Let's work on that. I know I can do that with some adjustment layers here. So what would work for that? It's very warm on Tom Cruise's picture as far as like the skin tones go, and so maybe something with brightness or the hue and saturation could work. So if I select this, it adds this skin tone, or not skin tone, but it adds this adjustment layer here. But if I go to change, it changes it for the whole picture. If I made it black and white, that's believable. But what I'm going to do is maintain the colors of this photo and make it work out. Try to match that. Now, in order for this to keep from happening, if I only want to drop the saturation of this Tom Cruise's mouth, what I need to do is assign this adjustment layer to the layer below it by holding Alt on the keyboard and hovering my mouse between these two layers. And once I see that little box, click, and now it's assigned just to that one layer. So now if I drop this down, oh, that's looking good. Drop that saturation down on Tom Cruise's picture. It really does a good job of matching the tones of Eminem's face. There's a little dark here though, so I can work on some blending as well when that goes. I can also add some lights. Not really working there. So I'm going to get back to my mask over here and start working on some light edits and blending of this crazy looking shadow off the face. I'm trying to preserve some of the features here. I think this is starting to look pretty good. Now, zoom this out. This looks good. His mouth looks like he's smiling. His nose, and this is where I'm going to do a little bit of a combination of working with mask, and I also want to work with, ooh, there's something about this nose right here that looks weird. I'm going to make sure that's gone. Get rid of that. There we go. Bring in some more of those shadows that Eminem has in his original picture. Oh, let me undo that. One big mistake I made was making sure I'm on the right layer here. I'm going to try to make that disappear. There we go. I was on the wrong layer, so big mistake, happens a lot, but easy to go back. Control Z out of that. Now I'm going to get into some liquefying stuff. So what I want to do is, once I have this, his mouth looks like he's smiling, his eyes still look kind of weirdly angry, and his nose isn't quite matching the smile lines either. So I want to right click and I want to merge these layers, or flat merge visible, or I can flatten the image. So now it all becomes one layer. Now I can take this into Liquify. Select that, filter, Liquify. It's going to open it up in this new window here. And this is where I can use my warp tool and start to work with warping this out a little bit, warping this out a little bit. I can warp the mouth even more if I wanted to. I do want to add a little bit of a squint to his eye, not much. A squint to his eye over here, not much. And maybe a little bit of extending his eye out, because your eyes stretch out when you smile. So I'm trying to make this as believable as possible, make this work out. And so there we go. Eminem's having an awesome day right now. He's got this big smile on his face, and look at him, he's gesturing out to you. He wants you to smile too. So I hit OK on that. Now I'm ready to do. I'm happy with this. Tones look good. Smile looks good. Use Liquify where I needed to, and I'm going to go to export as JPEG, export. This one I am naming according to my assignment, which in this case is going to be, I'm going to put my name and layer mask. Oops. And hit save. Now that's saved, and then we're ready to go. So there we go. Had a little fun with Photoshop, trying to make the unbelievable believable, and let's go with that and see what you can do. Find some good pictures, see if you can find a good combination of images that you can work with together and make it believable that they are having a great day. So there we go, and we'll see what you get.